All right, guys, we are back in my garage for another video, and we have some exciting news. BMW is coming out with a brand new, really exciting performance car that we'll never be able to have. And I know this is starting to become an old story, hearing this every time, but I think there's a good reason for it. I'm still excited that the car exists, but I also understand why we're never going to see it in the US. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit more about the new M3 CS Touring, as well as the reasons why we're not going to get the car and what I think we should do if we expect that to change anytime soon. So let's go ahead and talk about it, and hopefully you guys find this video useful. Now, as always, for everybody that's new to the channel, I create these videos to help keep you updated on the latest developments in our community, as well as discuss technical topics so that we have a better understanding of how our engines work. So if you're interested in more videos like that, be sure to subscribe because there will be a lot more coming out in the future. So yes, there is a new M3 CS Touring, and just like the name suggests, BMW is basically merging the M3 CS with the M3 Touring and giving us a high performance version of their station wagon. And they put this in the tagline. It specifically says racing DNA meets maximized everyday usability, which is obviously the main selling point. The goal is to have M3-like performance with good engine power and nice handling, while still having the practicality of having a hatchback with seats that fold down and a bunch of storage space. So this is what most people think is the dream. This is exactly what you would think an enthusiast would be looking for as they get to a point where they want a car that's more capable. Now, let's first of all talk about some of the specs of the car. So it is a CS and comes with a lot of the same performance things that the CS came with. They bumped up the horsepower to 550 horsepower, which is between 27 and 77 more horsepower compared to a regular M3, depending on if it's a base or a competition X drive. The M3s come with a wide range of power anyway, so that's why it kind of varies. But 550 is the most that they've put in an M3 to date. And I was surprised to see that the way they achieved this is by increasing the boost pressure, because the regular M3 comes with 24.5 PSI. And I was really surprised to hear that because as a Gen 1 B58 owner, we know our turbos explode at just barely over 20 PSI. So the fact that a factory M3 is coming with 24 PSI is insane. But wait, there's more. The new CS is bumping that up to over 30 PSI. So these cars are going to come with a lot of boost from the factory. I can only imagine what that's like to have that much boost pressure with a factory warranty backed up behind it. But they made it work, and it's just a really good illustration of how good the S58 engine is. Now, as is expected, it only comes with xDrive as well as a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. That's pretty standard at this performance level from BMW, so I don't think there are any surprises there. They confirmed that the top speed is 300 kilometers per hour, which translates to about 186 miles per hour. And it also drops the 0 to 60 by 0.1 seconds. So it goes from a 3.5 to a 3.4, which basically puts the M3 CS Touring in line with the performance numbers of the regular M3. Now, it also comes with a couple tire options to make sure you can put that power to the ground. It comes factory with a track tire, but they also mentioned that you can go down to a sport tire or you can go up to an ultra track tire, which is just kind of the generic words they're using, but I'm imagining it's the same Michelin tires they've been offering. So you either can get a Pilot Sport 4S, a Pilot Sport Cup 2, or a Cup 2R, depending on how aggressive of a tire you want to run. Now, being a CS, we expect this car not just to have more power, but also handle better as well. It's still an M3 after all, and so the CS needs to be able to take that handling to the next level. So in the Touring, it gets the same CS treatment. When you pop the hood, you can see this crazy upgraded strut brace. This aluminum jungle gem is actually lighter than the regular strut brace, as well as stiffer, so that you can get a more direct feel and better steering response. The car also has more camber up front, which again improves how much traction you have when you're going through turns and makes the car respond more quickly when you turn in. The car also has stiffer motor mounts, so that will again help improve the response time between the throttle pedal and just the entire drivetrain will feel much more responsive. And the entire drivetrain has been upgraded with the CS tuning. So that means the electronic steering is going to be stiffer, the adaptive suspension is going to handle better. All of the electronic systems are going to have a little bit more performance so that the car handles more like a true track car. And then of course, from a look standpoint, they did it up with the regular CS treatment. So we've got red stripes and details throughout the car, as well as a lot of carbon fiber accents. They also have the CS seats inside of the car that brings it up a notch from the regular M3 and M4 carbon buckets. And of course, it has the yellow DRLs up front to give it that real motorsports look. Now, on top of that, they have done some weight reduction, which the Touring is, of course, the heaviest M3. So any weight that they take out would be a welcome improvement. And in this case, they've taken out just over 30 pounds from the M3 Touring. The way that they did this is, again, using a lot of carbon fiber components, such as the hood, as well as some of the accents around the car. It also comes with forged wheels, as well as a titanium exhaust. So all of that helps drop the weight compared to the regular Touring. But even with that weight reduction, it's still going to be between 70 and 90 pounds heavier than the M3 sedan. So, it's still going to be a heavy car, but the trade-off is, of course, the practicality. And then last but not least, they've got to make this car limited. So it's going to come in some special colors that you can see here. We've got British Racing Green, Laguna Seca Blue, the Frozen Solid White, which is kind of like the main CS color, and then the Sapphire Black Metallic that everybody and myself have loved for decades now. And these cars are all going to be made at the main plant in Munich, Germany. This is going to be made alongside with the other M3s, but of course, a very limited run, probably just for this model year. So you'll have to order it and get in when you can if you've got the dealer relationship needed to get your allocation. Now let's take a step back and talk about why we're not getting one in the US. And I think this is the same old tired story that they're not going to sell here. I mean, we love these cars, but we don't buy them. And I can say for sure that it's a lot more than what we think. Just having a desire for a car and saying we'll own one doesn't matter if you're going to be buying used cars or modifying cars or doing things that don't hit their bottom line. We have to buy new cars frequently in order for it to motivate an OEM to provide a product to us. So my example I always share is on my 440i. It's a manual transmission. I bought it brand new because that was exactly what I wanted. And one, I really couldn't find them anywhere. And two, I wanted to try to support keeping the manual transmission alive because that was something that I really enjoyed. And a lot of enthusiasts say the same thing. But I bought this car in 2017, and since then I have not bought a single new car. I'm pretty confident that even if there was a new M440i or whatever with a manual transmission, I probably wouldn't have purchased it either. So me talking with my wallet didn't go very far simply because I'm not going to be a regular buyer and there's nobody else to backfill the gap that I left for buying a new one. So in the US, that's just kind of how things go. And even me myself, I would love to have an M3 Touring, but I would never use it the way that they advertise it as my only car, because I very much like having a sports car and then a car that I do other things with, like my daily driver. So it could serve as a daily driver, but I'm not looking for that car to be a car I track or race or anything like that. It's just kind of something that you can drive daily and still have some performance while you have, your coupe or your lighter, smaller, better handling sports car that you do all of your performance mods to, and that's the car that you really love. Think of it kind of like a summer tire versus a winter tire. The M3 Touring is an all season. Is that really what you want to go with? Most people would say probably not. So again, that's just my personal take on it. A lot of Americans probably feel the same way. They'd rather have a small sports car and a big SUV instead of one car that tries to do everything. It is what it is. I would love to see the car here, but like I said, I probably wouldn't be able to afford one, much less put my money into one if that's what I was in the market for. But hopefully a lot of you guys that are in Europe or other parts of the world get yours and get to post them up so we can see what you do with it in the future. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below.